Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to check out Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
No. The darkness won't allow it.
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We are testing this new mic, so hopefully it sounds good. I did get a new headset, so hopefully everything sounds good. Just right off the bat, this video will definitely contain spoilers, so if you guys have not played Hellblade yet, I mean, it came out like 2017 or 18, something like that. So if you guys haven't seen it, this is your warning. If you're like me and are playing it super late, then yeah, definitely going to contain spoilers here. Basically, I had no idea that this game even was a thing until I think it was last year. I saw like the Game Awards and it was advertising Hellblade 2, and I was like, whoa, this game looks crazy. Wait a minute, there's Hellblade 2? And so I like looked it up. I feel like my headphones are shaking on my head. And so I looked it up and I was like, wow, this game looks really good. Just never got around to playing it, and then when I finally got my Xbox, it was free on Game Pass, so I was like, heck yes. So we finally got to check it out, and it does have the Xbox Series X and S next-gen graphics, so it looked really, really good. At least I thought. I thought the graphics were very nice. So just like with all my other videos, guys, we're going to kind of go over the pros and the cons of what I thought overall of Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. So we'll start with some of the positive stuff. Overall, like I said, the next-gen graphics were really, really good. I didn't notice any frame rates or glitches at all. So the game was very crisp, very beautiful looking in some parts, very dark and cryptic in other parts. But overall, like, just the graphics looked really, really good. So next thing, I thought there's not a whole lot of combat in this game, but I thought what combat there was felt really nice, felt really satisfying, especially some of those boss fights. It was pretty simple, you know. You got your light attacks and your heavy attacks, and then you got like a special where you can kind of freeze time a little bit. They call it your focus, and all those kind of play together with your combat. All super simple, but I thought it was very satisfying. Felt like there was like weight to like when you're fighting. So especially with boss fights, which is another point that I actually really like. There's not very many boss fights in this game. But the boss fights that you do encounter, I personally thought were really fun. Yeah, so boss fights, super fun. The story follows this girl named Senua, and she is like a Celtic warrior, and she's trying to bring back her lost love that passed away. And that's pretty much, the story is pretty simple, but I love the way that it plays out, especially at the end with the twist. Like I said, this video is going to contain spoilers to those who haven't seen. This is another warning here, but like you follow her around to try to bring back her love, and you find out that at the end that one of the bosses you fight is Hela, and it's kind of revealed. I mean, at least this is what I took from it, is that Senua is Hela, and the part that you're playing through is her letting go, just letting go of, you know, that part of her, like trying to because her loved one passed away, and she's just like letting it go. So like the story was super cool. The visuals in this game were freaking awesome. Like there's always like voices playing in your head. So this is one of those games that you definitely have to play with a headset, especially they got like the 3D audio going around. So like when you hear the voices in your head, it actually, I felt like I was going crazy listening to it, because they'd always tell you to go do things or not do things, or, oh, what is she doing? Why is she doing that? You know, and they're always like playing in your head throughout the entire story. And then like when you're looking for certain clues or hints, like you would just see like the symbols everywhere popping up, and it was just really cool. Like visually, it was really cool. Kind of go along with the story. Like you're playing as Senua, but she had a traumatic incident when she saw her loved one actually passed away, or actually he was murdered. Basically, they blood-eagled him, which is where they like pull his lungs out his back. It's super gruesome, super bloody, but she saw that and had a traumatic experience, and that's why she's kind of, would you call it like schizophrenic, or what do they call it? Psychosis, I think that's what they said it in the game, psychosis, where you see things and you hear voices. I guess, I don't know if psychosis or schizophrenic are the same. I always thought they were, but yeah, so very similar to that, and it kind of goes right in with the gameplay, because there's certain like puzzles that you solve in the game, And the reason you can see that or solve these puzzles is because you can see things that, not everyone can see. Like to unlock these doors, you find like certain like Celtic ruins, and you're going around and you can see it like, you line up the tree branches or, beams of a broken building or a broken ship, stuff like that. So all the puzzles, super fun. I really, really enjoyed all the puzzles. Well, I guess we'll get more into the puzzles too and some of the cons, because there's some that I was like, let's see. Like I said, definitely play with headphones. All the voices, the visuals, super cool. There's not a whole lot of combat, like I said earlier, so if you're looking for combat, this isn't necessarily one of those, slasher type games. You can't fight or whip out your sword whenever you want and like chop, swing it around. So it only really comes out during enemies. Now my last 2 bullet points here that I have for some of the pros. I see it, and I could definitely see how some people might put these as cons. And I hear my dryer going off in the background, so hopefully that didn't pick up too loud, because I heard it pretty loud. Like I said, some of the puzzles I thought were really good, and then some of them, like I said, I thought were meh. But I put this in the pros and the cons aisle spots, because there are some puzzles that I thought were really good, where like there's this one where you're being chased by this shadow figure or whatever, and you're trying to basically try to solve all the puzzles or find all the ruins before it gets you. So that was really cool. And then there's another one where there's like these arches, and they change what you see, because it's kind of like a what would you call it, an illusion. And so when you go through different ones, you see different things move, or things are fixed or broken. And so it's kind of cool going through all these different things, trying to solve these puzzles. But at the other end, like I said, some of the cons, I thought some of the puzzles were pretty like or like took me forever to find, because I literally could not see it. But I did put that in both ones. I did enjoy most of the puzzles for most of the part, but like I said, there were some that were kind of and then the last part, I could see a lot of people not liking this. So this game literally tells you nothing, like gameplay wise. Doesn't tell you how to attack, doesn't tell you how to run, doesn't tell you how to interact with items or pillars that have like ruins on them. Doesn't tell you literally anything. It's basically you start the game and you go. And when I first started, I was so freaking confused. I was like, okay, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I think that's like, at least for me, that's what I got, is that was like the point of the game, is to be just as confused as Senua was, be just as crazy. You hear all the voices that are telling you to do things or not do things, and then you're like, oh man, should I actually do this or not? What am I doing? So I feel like they all kind of like played together pretty nicely overall. But I can also see how some people would be pretty annoyed. Game's pretty linear, but it doesn't have any overhead display. There's no health bar. Like, there's literally nothing on the screen besides just you wandering around. So I could see how that might be a turnoff for some people. I thought it was freaking awesome. I kind of touched on this earlier. Sorry, I'm kind of flip-flopping around here. I did not do a good job at writing my notes here. But last but not least, I really like the boss fights. The game is really short. I believe there was only 4 bosses total. There's like this flame one named Surtur. I'm probably butchering the names of this. And then there's like a shaman type dude that does illusions. And then there was like this weird skeleton dog thing. I'm not sure who that was supposed to be. I forget. And then you fight Hela. But literally all the boss fights I thought were really fun. Really like very cinematic. Like I said, it kind of plays in with the combat. Felt really satisfying and nice, even though it was simple. And then I guess the last boss fight, Hela, is like one of those bosses you're supposed to lose to. And I literally sat there for like 20 minutes because she sends like a bunch of basically just pounds you with enemies until you basically die, where you can't, continue anymore. And freaking I was sitting there for literally, not even kidding, like 20 minutes just destroying waves of enemies. And I was like, dude, is this ever going to end? And then eventually I got knocked down too many times, because you get like those big enemies that got like all the skulls on their backs or whatever, and they just hit super hard, and they can actually move when you slow down time and so those ones are a little bit harder. But yeah, I was sitting there for like 20 minutes trying to beat this Hello boss fight, and I was supposed to lose, so I kind of felt like a fool. But nonetheless, it was super fun. That's going to be it for the pros. Some of the cons, like I mentioned a little bit, puzzles, I won't go too in depth, but like some of them I felt like were too long or just too easy or just were, I don't know, just kind of I was just trying to get through it just to get to the next area. Next thing that I didn't quite like were some of the cutscenes just seemed off, because you got like they were like half animated, and then half of them were not animated. They were like real people where they put like filters over them, and they just kind of seemed off. Some of the statues with faces on them, like you click on them and it would play like a little cutscene, or there's just random cutscenes as you hit like pillars with ruins on them. And those ones always just seemed a little out of place. I just didn't really like them, even though they added to the story. Really liked that part, but just like visually, I was like, eh. And then just last but not least, I just wish that there was a little bit more controller configuration, especially with like the running. I figured out that you hit the left bumper to run, but the way the Xbox is set up and the bumper and running, it just felt like it cramped my hand too many times. And so and I tried to, like, because you can't switch things around, but I wanted to use the left trigger because the left trigger literally doesn't use anything in the whole game, but it wouldn't let me. So just wish that it would let you use whatever buttons, because it says click whatever button, but that was obviously not the case. But other than that, that was basically all the things that I liked and disliked overall in the game. Like I said, overall, super fantastic game. After kind of beating it, I kind of like looked up stuff about it, because I just was really liking this game. I wanted to see when the next one was coming out, this and that. And when I got online to like look about it, apparently this game was pretty divisive. Either you really liked it or you really didn't like it. So, and I definitely fall on the end of I really enjoy this game. Combat was fun. Visuals were great, especially with the next-gen graphics. Story I thought was awesome. The psychosis and the headphones and the voices all played together super nicely. And now if I were to give this my rating out of 10, it would definitely be a 9 for me. It was really good. I had a super fantastic time playing this. And honestly, I can't wait to play the second one. I don't know when that comes out. I want to say 2022, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below. Did you like it? Have you guys played it yet? You guys excited for the next one? But anyways, we're done with this, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.